Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Williams Fitness back again with another video. I've been speaking to Chanel for about an hour today through voice notes on Instagram. And me and Chanel, we talk. Obviously, she came on for the interview, but we were talking like before she came on the channel for interviews, just random back and forth things. And we were talking about Rich Piana. We were talking about Mac Truck. She knows that Mac's come on the channel. She knows that, me and Mac are friends. She had nothing negative to say about Mac. Nothing at all. And when I spoke with Mac, he, off camera, he's got nothing negative to say about Chanel. It just seems the situation with regards to Generation Iron and RX Muscle specifically are to use Rich Piana's name to create a revenue, to create and generate drama when there is none. Both Mac and Chanel fully admit Rich took drugs other than steroids. They both have come out and said, yes, it was a problem. They've both come out and said, yes, we tried to help. Regardless of any of the other bullshit that's been said between the two, whether people care if they like each other or not, whether the point of this is Rich has died, he's gone, that's it. There is nothing else to be said about the matter. Don't put a guy on a pedestal, which everybody did. Every fan of Rich Piana put him on a pedestal like he was perfect, and the fact of the matter is he wasn't. He was human. We are not perfect. I am not perfect. Matt Truck isn't perfect. Chanel isn't perfect. Viking, any of them. No one's perfect. Everybody has their own individual situation. Everybody has their own individual past history drama with whatever was going on. I don't give a fuck who likes who isn't speaking to who anymore. I think the point of the matter is people will be dragging these people through interviews, and I mean Generation 9 and RX Muscle, simply to use you to generate revenue from views. You've got to ask yourself, by going on somebody's channel and being interviewed, how does this benefit you? The first thing that Generation 9 did was chop up the interview with Mac Truck, and throw the Rich Piana thing out there. And I genuinely think they had Mac on for the Piana story. I think everything else, whether they wanted the rest of the information or not, I can't speculate on that. And again, I think it's safe to say I'm not even presuming at this point. I think they only used Mac for his Rich Piana stories because they knew it'd be views, they knew it'd be subscribers, they knew it'd generate revenue. And it's a very shitty thing to do. RX Muscle did their investigation new details video. What was the new details? There was literally no new details. Nobody stops to question the title. Nobody stops to question the individual. Dave Palumbo is not a news reporter. I am not a news reporter. Nick Strength and Power is not a news reporter. We can title ourselves whatever the fuck we want. First and foremost, we are YouTubers. Second to that, we are bodybuilding fans. As fans who have a platform and a large audience, what are we trying to put out there? What content are we actually trying to give you guys on the industry? What, everybody's smoking meth and crack and this person stole from this person? Are we raising the bar or are we lowering the bar? This is the thing. So you've got to ask yourself now, as a Rich Piana fan, as a bodybuilding fan, as a fucking human, are you going to add fuel to this fire? And I want to raise one person that kind of has nothing to do with bodybuilding, but some of you may know a news reporter in the UK called Flack recently passed away. She passed away due to news outlets, just spreading absolute bollocks and bullshit about her as an individual. She was due to go to court over a court case of alleged abuse that even against her partner. Her partner refuted the claim, but the Crown Prosecution Service still wanted to push it forward because it made headlines. This then put her head in turmoil, and then she obviously took her own life because of this. Now, We can go down the path of, should you have done this, should you have done that. My point is, as consumers of content, as consumers who write comments, who click the like button or the dislike button, you are the people that will add fuel. It's not just whoever's creating the content. If you keep going and clicking it, and you keep going and viewing it, and then you keep commenting and sharing, you're just as bad as the person who created it. Even if you're going to give them a shit comment, they're still making revenue. I'd just choose, if it was me personally, to dismiss the video altogether. I'm not saying go and unsubscribe from anybody. It's quite the opposite. I'm just saying, if they bring out a story about somebody who quite literally can't defend themselves, or you disagree with, don't click on it. Do not click on it. Even if it's one of mine, don't click on it. If you don't like somebody I've interviewed, just don't click on it. You don't have to proactively be a dick. You don't have to go and click on that video just to leave a shitty comment. Just go about your day. All I'm saying is just I can't believe I'm saying this, but just be kind, be nice, be courteous, be respectful. Whether, whoever's being interviewed or whoever's chatting shit, I don't care if it's Greg fucking Valentino or whoever the fuck RX Muscle has on, and whatever they're talking about, that's up to them. It's their podcast. They're going to do what they're going to do. I'm just saying, if you see something that you know is going to be bullshit, you see something you know is going to be shitty, don't entertain it. Because by entertaining it, you're giving them a rite of passage to then do it again and do it again, because they'll see the video as being popular. They'll see the video as that, oh, we've done a good thing. People are really interested in this. And then a week will go by or 2 weeks will go by, they'll do it again. And they're making bank off it. Let's not forget that's why we make YouTube videos in the first place. Let's be humble about it. And I've done this time and time again. Let's be fucking real about it. We make content to make money. I just decided this year that the content I was creating over the past few years was shit. It was trash. That's why I've decided to completely flip the script on my channel. I can be a fucking man about that. I can step up to that and say, do you know what? My past videos were all trash. But now I'm trying to do something different. That's why I've got different pro bodybuilders on every week. That's why we're talking about the past, the history, educational shit, getting doctors on the channel. So all I'm saying is, Rich is past. I'm friends with Chanel. I'm friends with Mac. I spoke to Mac about this a few weeks ago. Me and Mac text. Me and Chanel have been talking all morning. I was going to try and get them both on together and maybe do a video. I don't know if that would be very hypocritical of me to do such a thing, because then we're sort of all rehashing the same shit anyway. Or would it be, we're taking a stand, fuck you, fuck GI, fuck RX, fuck everybody else that's chatting all this shit. You've got two people that actually aren't friends anymore coming together to not pay tribute to Rich, but just to say, look, this was the situation. I mean, they've both confirmed some of the stuff that's been said about Rich, especially the drug thing, which seems to be what's circulating. The whole investigation thing, I don't know much about. I'm not going to really speak on that much because I simply don't know much about it. But don't think RX Muscle hasn't got an agenda with that anyway. They are playing cards behind the scenes. I don't even think the person who is investigating it is even credible with regards to being part of a sort of police force. So don't think for 1 second that might not even be a private investigator. I might be wrong. I'm never really wrong. So all I'm saying is, when you hear information, let it go in, let it settle. Think on it. Don't just think because somebody on YouTube has said X and somebody on someone else's channel has said Y. Don't take the truth. Sometimes read between the lines or let it wash over you and go about your fucking day. On that note, guys, I'm going to leave it there. It's a hard subject for me to talk about because, I didn't know some of the shit about Rich. And I know a lot more than most of you think. I just choose not to speak on it because I choose to have a bit more fucking dignity, have a bit more respect, not just for Rich, for myself, for my audience. I think bringing up some of the stuff that's happened in the past isn't going to change anything. And it's not going to be some sort of public service announcement where you're going to change anything about your life either. So if it's not going to affect me, Rich, or you, it doesn't need to be speaked on. So I'm going to leave it there. Like I say, I'll reach out to Mac. Whether they want to do this or not, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do this, to be honest. It's quite a shit situation. I just think that, these outlets need to be told. And I think anybody who does watch this who was a 5%er, whether it's fucking Viking, Big Boy, Mac, Chanel, I think you need to question why these people want to interview you. I've had it before where people have asked me the questions beforehand, so I'll send them a list of questions that I'm going to ask, and I will not defer. Unless it's a fan question, even them I go through and make sure, it's not so much shitty. So, be careful. Don't think that everybody is out to, want to know you as a person. I did that with Mac and I did that with Chanel. I tried very hard to make sure it wasn't about Rich Piana. And I think it came across that way. I think we did a good job with it. I genuinely do. And like I say, I'm good friends with Mac, I'm good friends with Chanel. Whether they talk to each other or not is a different thing. I don't take what Mac said and go running to Chanel. I don't take what Chanel said and go running to Mac. I don't do that shit. I don't even do that shit with my own friends. So why the fuck would I do it with two people that, I do respect in the industry? I know a lot of people sending a lot of shit to Chanel's way. A lot of guys as well. I mean, I don't know what that's about, lads, but it's a bit of a pussy thing to do. And a lot of you were getting Chanel confused with, I forgot her fucking name. The fuck was her name? The other bird that Rich banged for a couple of months. What the fuck was her name? Fuck knows. I can't even remember her name, but a lot of you are getting her confused with Chanel, which is pretty shit because you obviously aren't a Rich Piana fan, because if you were, you'd fucking know from watching all these videos, because you've gone from months of Chanel being in, months to her. What the fuck was her name? Comment below, I forgot that fucking bitch's name. Just stop with the bullshit. It's like, Mac's doing his thing. Mac's doing really well now. Mac's obviously part of Ambrosia. He's got his own, merchandise shit going on. He's got, a life. He's got, he's trying to sell his house and level up to the next level. He's got a lot going on. He's got competitions. His social media, YouTube. He's doing his thing. I just think that people need to just fuck off with the Rich Piana shit now. It's done. This investigation will come up with absolutely fuck all. Because let's be honest, the toxicology report disappeared. Who was that? Was that Mac? Was that Chanel? Was that Viking? Was that Big Boy? No, that was the fucking hospital. That was the hospital. Nothing to do with anybody else. Do you think Chanel was sneaking behind fucking closed doors and, locked doors where, they've got his blood vials? That should know a way around the hospital. Like, what the fuck is this investigation going to come out with? Like, seriously. Nothing. Nothing at all. So my point is, and this has been a very long video and I apologise, just skim over this shit. Just let it fucking be. Let him be. Let Rich Piana be. Let's just move on. He did create a good legacy on YouTube with people. He did elevate people. The point that everybody's trying to prove is, and the only point that's come out of all of this is, Rich wasn't perfect. Rich wasn't, which refers me back to the beginning of the video. Everybody put him on this super high pedestal, and when it turned out, when he passed away and stories come out, oh, what if we found out he wasn't perfect? That's it. That's all you found out. He was normal. He had his demons. We've all got our own inner demons. Whether we're suffering with. This is the other thing as well. People aren't asking why was Rich taking these drugs. Like, this is where, ideally it'd be nice to have Chanel and Mac on, because obviously Chanel was with him, 24/7. Mac obviously saw a different side, because I do agree that you see a different side of a guy with his girlfriend and with friends. I think they open up on different levels, if that makes sense. So I think having those two together would have explained more as to maybe why Rich was using these recreational drugs, or whatever you want to. I hate the term recreational, because it's not like something you buy at the local fucking 7-Eleven, do you know what I mean? But my point is, if Rich was taking these drugs, what was the root problem for him taking them? Maybe it wasn't because he started out addicted to these things. Maybe it was depression. Maybe it was anxiety. Maybe it was a mental health issue. I know that Mac had mentioned that, Mac said, "Luke, drink, drink," and like Mac made a very good point actually, and said that Rich said no, he like didn't numb him enough, and it was the drugs. And the problem at the time was Rich was blowing up on YouTube, and he had an abundance of cash, which probably made the situation worse. And Chanel and Mac have both openly said that they tried their hardest to divert Rich away from drugs and on a better path. But I think sometimes you can be fighting a losing battle. And I think that's probably been the outcome of this. So going forward, don't just judge somebody because they took drugs or they're taking drugs. There's normally a bigger issue behind it. 9 times out of 10, it's mental health. It can be depression, it can be anxiety, it can be the loss of a loved one. It can be anything. So let's stop fucking this bullshit and dragging people through the mud. I'm not going to monetize this video because that'd be hypocritical on me to make money from rehashing some more shit. And let's just move on from there. If these two both want to come on and squash it, that's cool. I don't even know if I want to do it myself. But I just think it'd be a good stand for Mac and Chanel, because they're not even, I don't even think they speak anymore, and they've obviously got their own issues because they've both said shit, I presume. And I presume, I don't know. If they both come on and we're like, Luke, let's fucking call this shit, So on that, guys, I'll leave it there. Have a me, you and you. Peace.